I'm very excited for this topic. He's not a kid. Saltini. Daltini.
What's up? Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. I know you're glad to see us, of course.
Hello. Friends.
We've been busy.
Very.
We've been living life.
A lot's happened.
But we don't forget about what truly matters. Drum and drummer.
You.
And drum and drummer. You know what I mean?
And David.
And David, of course. Of course. But he's involved within the name. Of course. Right?
You said you had a cold open.
Yeah, I didn't know where we're starting. Matthew just started talking, so I'm just going with the flow. But yes, I was given some very terrible news today,
Oh, no.
and I don't know how to take it.
Okay, let's vent.
I've been doing something for a very long time now, drinking the same thing every day, but I make it right. I make it good. I put a lot of effort into it. I put love into what I make. And that is a protein shake. Now, before anybody goes any further with that thought, I want you to think about this. Okay? If you drink the same protein shake every day, it gets boring. You got to mix it up. You got to give it some zing, right?
Yeah.
So, my zing is putting peanut butter and bananas and sometimes like the mixed berry stuff in there. And I make it fun. I make it a thing. You know what I mean? I do it every once in a while, but I always stick to the basics of chocolate powder and peanut butter. Always 2 hefty scoops of peanut butter, I like to say.
Water.
And I was given news that somebody in this very room, in this very screen, thinks that I don't make good protein shakes.
It's not that I don't think you make good protein shakes. It's that I would prefer to eat a lot of things other than your protein shakes.
I know that, but if you wanted a protein shake and I was making one, would you be like, hey, Dalton, give me one of those bad boys?
No.
What would you? What kind of protein shake would you make?
I wouldn't make a protein shake. I don't.
Matthew, you drink protein shakes regularly.
Yeah, just water and protein. Just pound it real quick. I don't want to sit
That's
there and
disgusting. Why don't you want to enjoy it?
Because I'd rather just hurry up and get that out of the way so I can enjoy other things. Like, I don't know.
I think that just speaks to the difference of you two as brothers.
Yeah.
Dalton's very much about the experience of everything.
Yep.
And Matt's more of a results kind of guy.
Yeah, man.
It just sucks, man, because I thought, as a brother, he would really respect and appreciate me for putting time and effort into something and learning about it.
I think that it's great that you found a recipe, and I think that it's great that you love that recipe. However, I love making Brussels sprouts in the air fryer.
Yeah, but what if I said, Matt, that's fucking gross. I hate it.
That's exactly what you said.
I would never say that to you.
You literally told me that.
I literally would never say that to you.
We were still at Dad's house. I made it. You said, Matt, that smells and that tastes like shit.
No, it smelled like shit.
You fucking
walk into the house after a nap. Can you imagine waking up from a nap to fucking smell of Brussels sprouts? That's not a fun thing to wake up to. I'm not wrong for that. You wouldn't do that to yourself. So yeah, I'm going to be disgusted because it smelled like pure shit in the house.
It didn't taste like it though.
But no, I tried it and it tasted good.
Yeah.
I just said it smelled like shit. So don't put words in my mouth.
No, but
he's putting words in my mouth.
Same thing. Same thing.
I tried it.
I've tried your protein shakes.
I don't think you've really given me a chance.
They're good.
No, I want next week on the podcast or whenever we shoot the next podcast, I want to make Matthew a protein shake and
live taste test.
He's gonna do a live taste test.
All right, live taste test.
And you guys are gonna see something amazing.
And you'll see me go, wow, what a protein shake.
You're gonna go, that is the best goddamn protein shake I've ever fucking had in my life.
You know the best.
Those are gonna be the exact words that come out of Matthew Drum's mouth.
No, what's gonna come out of my mouth is this is the best goddamn sound I've ever heard in my entire life. David, roll it. I'm Drum.
I'm Drummer. Oh my God, what a vibe. What a vibe.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Week 122.
Week 122, guys. That's 22. Plus 44, which is 88. 66. Plus 22, which is 88. Plus 40, which is 120. Plus 2, which is 122, ladies and gentlemen.
And as always, we're your hosts. I'm Drum.
And I'm Drummer.
It's a podcast about brotherhood and the 3 S's: storytelling,
Supernatural.
and self-improvement. But this episode,
This one is different.
you have to refer to us as the Tarnished.
For we are the
The
tarnished.
Is that the name of it?
That's what we are, David. It's not
Name of what?
Not the name of anything.
Keep going.
It's a lifestyle.
So, Dalton and I
We have
benefit from ADHD.
yes.
Life becomes very interesting. We can't really focus on too much.
Not
But
for too long.
But Dalton was diagnosed with ADHD professionally, accidentally, before me. And the thing is that Dalton then began to learn about himself. You know what I mean? Like, you go on TikTok, which is becoming the new search engine for everything, which I think is badass. And he started to learn about himself. And he would say certain things, oh, this is this. But one thing that he learned about was what is called
A hyperfixation.
So, Dalton, will you please explain to our audience the individuals who don't get the joys of, not being able to focus? Like, what is a hyperfixation?
It's the most focused you'll ever see somebody like us, pretty much. So a hyperfixation is like something where we get really into like a certain subject, a certain video game, a certain like art or something like that, and we get so fixated on it that that's all we think about. That's all we want to do. At the end of the day, that's like what we look forward to. And when we're playing it, our like endorphins and all our shit's going off. Like, we're just living in the love, and it's fucking amazing.
We essentially become incredibly obsessed with one topic or subject or whatever the case is.
It's an exaggerated and intense.
Time for a dictionary with Dave.
Dictionary with Dave.
This is the fastest one. An exaggerated and intense affection towards something or someone.
Yep.
Weirdly, it says hyperfixation is usually mistaken for an individual's particular interest. Which seems weird to me. Like, if you're hyperfixated, does that mean you don't always like what you're super into?
I haven't experienced that. So I was just diagnosed with ADHD probably like 4 or 5 months ago, like professionally. And ever since then, I've been like, well, when Dalton was like, I started doing research too, and I was like, oh, this sounds a lot like me. Like, I started to like kind of understand how to utilize the way that I am in a more productive way to get things that I need to get done. Life-changing.
But also, there's a lot of truths you have to learn, a lot of hard truths.
Yeah.
But it
so,
makes sense.
So Dalton and I, we have hyperfixations. Like, for mine, it was Beat Saber for like 2 days.
You were on a big kick.
Dalton was Jimmy Jam Boom Bam.
Yeah.
But the first time in the history of us being alive, we have the same hyperfixation at the same time. Let me tell you, it's been fucking fun.
It's amazing. We've been bonding so much. It's so much fun. If you guys don't know, Elden Ring has been out for a little while now, and we suck at it.
We're terrible. But what is, David, would you explain, maybe not necessarily what Elden Ring is, but like that style of game?
Your professional opinion.
The company that makes those games?
So Elden Ring is a Soulsborne type game known for FromSoft Studios, and it's a type of game that specifically gets a lot of hate and a lot of praise because there is no set difficulty meter, and they designed the combat to be incredibly difficult and requires a lot of training and analysis and timing rather than a memorization of a preset, button combination that you need to hit.
Yeah.
It's a lot of adaptation and work. And so a lot of people hate it because they say it's too hard. And a lot of people praise it because it's like hardcore gaming.
It is. And there's like a cult-like following for these games.
And it requires persistence.
Yes.
And like I said, like
there's definitely a community behind it.
The
for sure.
general meme is that you die 100 times at least before you beat any of the bosses.
Yep.
And so this game came out, and I want this to be on the record. I firmly believe that Dalton and I would not have this game or even be playing it or really considering it if someone else in this very room that was off screen did not say you guys just probably shouldn't buy it because there's no way you guys would finish it and like it. And then he gave 2 very specific reasons to Dalton and myself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the funny thing is that without even speaking or looking at each other, we had both decided we were going to buy this game and we were going to do our damnedest to fucking beat it. And so I came home the next day and Dalton had bought Elden Ring. And I was like, cool, I don't got to spend money, but we're on the same page.
But he's buying Lego Star Wars, so let's figure it out.
That's the trade-off. But dude, it's been so much fun, especially because like I got hyper fixated with Assassin's Creed Valhalla for a while.
So before we get more into this,
okay.
I want to try and make sure we're using the word correctly between hyperfixation and obsession, because there's an extra layer to hyperfixation.
Okay.
It's a result of someone developing an avoidance stimulus to their negative emotions and thoughts
Absolutely.
due to their mental health conditions.
Absolutely.
So it diverts their negative signs and symptoms into positivity.
Yep.
1000%.
Exactly what we're doing.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for calling us out on it.
We're avoiding life.
We're avoiding a lot of things, David.
All right.
We really needed to put it
I want
out
to make
there.
sure.
We're in for the long haul, baby.
Anyways, so me and Dalton start playing, right? Dalton starts playing. I start watching. I'm like, I want to try it, but I'm not sure. And so, I try it, get hooked. And what's cool is that the way this has been going recently is one of us is playing the video game and just consistently dying, like consistently
All the time. Everywhere, there's just fucking bird.
and getting increasingly mad. And it's like, it doesn't, like, for instance, I beat a boss. Felt I was on top of the world. The highs of this game are so high.
So high.
But the lows are just so low. And so you beat the boss and you're like, fuck yeah. You walk into the next room and then there's just some random person there that's not a boss.
And sometimes hiding in the fucking corner.
And
like
then
an ass.
he slices you up. And so you've gone through this whole progress and it's not like you can save wherever you want. You got to go to specific points in the map. So it's just frustrating. But what's been fun is through the frustration of consistently dying, we've been relying on one another to help find different items, different walkthroughs, different things that we can, you got to do this. You got to do this. And the reason why I say it's been fun is because Dawn and I have had a lot of opportunity to work on our communication with one another. Jump over that rock, you motherfucker.
Matt, fucking figure it out, dude. Just fucking get around that thing.
You got to go that way.
Yeah, Matthew's the worst at directions. He goes, yeah, I know exactly where that is. And then he brags about himself going, yeah, man, like I did this thing once, got me this much runes. Like I already know exactly where it is. Like it's crazy how fast I pick up on the map. He takes me to the complete opposite side. Doesn't let me fast travel. He's like, no, you got to go this way. I only know the route.
I think it's there. No. Is it?
But
yeah, you're good.
I do the same thing. I do the same thing, just not as cocky. You know what I mean? Like, go here. Wait. That looks similar, but that's not it.
But if we're not sitting next to each other trying to help each other, it's like, I'm pretty sure the only TikToks we've sent back and forth for the last, 3 weeks has been just Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, that, the pull to, want to play the game, yes, flamed up from you, but then it kind of had that same type of energy as, when I was playing Skyrim for so long and all these, fairly easy RPGs that aren't too serious and I could play at easy mode. I wanted something that didn't give me a chance and just threw me in it. And that next step was The Witcher 3 because I tried playing it 5 different times and I just couldn't get into it. The mechanics were weird to me and the storyline didn't get me at first. And so I was like, no, I bought it. I have to beat it. I'm seeing everyone that loves it. I got to do it. So I played that game all the way through, and it's the best.
It's so good.
It's one of the best RPGs ever in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's an amazing game, and so that's the same type of energy I have towards Elden Ring. So now I have to beat it.
Yep.
It's crazy, man.
I understand.
It's a crazy feeling, but it's a lot of fun.
But you also sent us a video from a therapist who was talking about the not necessarily using video games as a medication, but using it to help analysis and help therapy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you wanted to talk more about that.
Yeah, I mean, the best example that he even showed, and we'll make sure we explain this pretty well, is basically Skyrim.
Okay,
so Skyrim is an open world RPG. You can travel anywhere. There's no
time out. What does open world mean? What does RPG mean?
Role-playing game is RPG.
So essentially, you are the character.
You are the character. You're the main character.
You get to customize it.
Yeah, and then open world is basically there's a set map and there's no restrictions within that set map, but it's huge. It could take you, I think maybe in Skyrim it takes you like an hour to get to the whole other side or something.
You just
like that.
walked?
Yeah, if you just walked.
Okay.
So that's basically what the premise of it. And like you get distracted by all these different characters. Now, a lot of people would play the main storyline if they're not used to RPGs like that. They'll play the main storyline and they'll finish each mission as it comes along. And when they have side quests, they finish the whole side quest at once. And then it comes down to us, and we
start
have
everything.
all billion quests that we get started, and we just jump from whenever we feel like it to different quest lines and just kind of go around like that, because that just shows how maybe our brain works or something. Like it just gives a little bit more insight on how we're thinking and what's giving us like that serotonin in the moment.
Ah, that's interesting. I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
Because I'll start a bunch of side missions, but I'll like sit down and decide like, okay, I need to see this one all the way through. Like it'll get too many, and I'll be like, I gotta start taking like them off one by one.
Yeah.
And it'll go one, and I'll do like 4 or 5, and I will feel like accomplished. But then I end up talking to somebody who's trying to find their cat in the tunnel. Next thing you know, I gotta fight the sewer king in order to get this cat back.
And you just gotta do it.
On the way there, I talked to like 7 different people. So then now you got rid of 4 side quests, but now I have 12 more. And I'm like, okay, well, this kind of, but then if I think about that with like how if I didn't have a structure in my workday and I just kind of went by the seam of my pants, that's pretty much how it would go. Where it'd be like, I'd have a laundry list of things to do. I would check off 4, and then through my distractions, create 9 more.
Yep.
And then just kind of repeat that endless cycle. So my list is never actually done.
It keeps going.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And that's part of what he talks about. He's like, if you, we can use it to figure out what's going on. He's like, show me your quest log. Do you have 50 different missions that have been started? And
how are you? Are you someone that's like one quest and done? Because I can see Rachel being like that.
I start a quest to finish a quest. I mean, like I'll have a bunch of quests available, but not necessarily started.
So like you'll
I see the
have the
storyline.
initial conversation and like, please help me save my dad who's in the castle. But then you won't actually go to the castle. You'll be like, I'm going to come back to that later.
Or not necessarily that as much as you usually get the quest starter from some other thing.
Okay.
In The Witcher, it's the notice boards.
Yeah.
In Ghost of Tsushima, it's like you go to a survivor camp and they tell you something's happening somewhere else on the island.
Yeah.
So I'll have a bunch of those because I go to every single spot to do as much as I can. But once I start a mission, I won't just abandon it halfway through. I'll see that mission to its end and then go somewhere else.
Okay. But you will you finish every book you start reading.
Yes.
See? Absolutely not. No.
I can't even finish a book.
No, like I finish most of the books that I read. Like I'll start a book and I'm like, okay, but I'm genuinely interested in it. If I started a book and like David has looked me in the eyes and been like, I'm not enjoying this book.
Yeah, I don't get that.
And I'll be like, so just don't read it. And he's like, no, I have to finish it. That makes no sense in my brain.
No fucking sense. Why do you do it? Why read it?
Why are you
doesn't
like
fucking
this?
matter.
Who made you this way?
I think probably just from being taught not to be a quitter. You don't quit things. You finish things.
So you're saying we're quitters?
No, I'm just
It's an
saying.
immediate slap in the face.
I'm saying so. I never learned how to, for my own enjoyment, stop when I stopped enjoying things. Because I did do that on some aspect. Swim, polo. It's lost interest in it once it stopped being fun, but it didn't necessarily stop unless I had another reason to.
Yeah.
But so that's like a positive in your book, and I think the way it looks, because you can just be like, nah, this is not fun. So why would I waste my time on it?
Yeah. Interesting. The one critique, or not critique, because I actually thoroughly enjoy the fact that it's like this, but I know like Mitch has been playing Elden Ring.
Yeah.
And he told me, he's like, they're so vague. They give you no direction.
And that's specific to the makers of the game.
Yeah, and I played. They have another game called Bloodborne that I tried to play. Just not my time era. I think. I also think I understand it more after this game.
And it's less linear, or it's more linear.
It's much more linear.
Oh, yeah.
So if you stuck at a boss,
you're
stuck at a boss.
You know, that's it. You know?
You're not run a different way.
Do you level up the same though?
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's really just world design.
Well, that's what I was saying. I was like, this. I told David, I've read a lot of forums, and they're all saying Bloodborne is the quote unquote easiest of these games, and then Elden Ring is next on that list. But I think what's fun about Elden Ring and more appealing to me is I have the opportunity to, at least most of the time, run away. You know, you don't get that in Bloodborne. Bloodborne, you're fucking there.
Yeah.
You're there.
yeah.
You deal with it. But I also understand this game now much more because I felt the same way as Mitch when I played Bloodborne. I was like, what the fuck am I even doing? You know? And I hated the fact that I had to go look it up. But now for this, like, I have a forum up 90% of the time that I'm playing. I'll have my laptop on this right here. The same setup. Only with the controller. And so it's been fun, though. It's been fun to kind of, like, dig in and just, like, go back and forth with Dalton about it. Now, Monique doesn't understand it. She thinks that we absolutely...
She hates it so much.
She does.
She hates that you guys are so angry about it.
She thinks we're the worst players in the world.
She does. She thinks we're terrible. And it also doesn't help the fact that David's played 2 games of like this style before.
Yeah.
So David comes over, sits down, and goes, "Can I try?" And you're like, "Yeah, sure."
And
you
Matt,
know, like,
Matt specifically goes, "Go this way."
yeah. And then just like it doesn't matter. Like David just understands. So David's just bodying everybody that I've been struggling with. Am I mad? Yes. Am I hurt? Like inside? Yes. But also too, I'm pumped because like I don't gotta do that myself. So it's
Pisses me
easier
off,
for
man.
me. And then Dalton was like, "Oh, David, you should try my file. You might like my build more." I'm like, this fucker just wants him to beat bosses on his file.
Yeah, a little bit. But I think you would like my build more. I'm more berserker. He's samurai. You know, Caleb surprised me. He chose monk or something.
No, he chose
What is it?
Prophet.
Prophet. Which
Are you surprised though?
yes.
Nah.
Yes, because he's always like even in like Skyrim, he's always been the very like, shield sword kind of guy.
Tank,
Yeah,
paladin kind of character.
So it's interesting.
But yeah, and then he talked a little bit. Other thing, he actually brings up like the backlog issue, where he's like, why? Look at all these games. Why have you started so many games but you haven't finished any of them? And it can be seen as you stopping because you don't enjoy them, or it could be seen as you don't have the attention span to finish a game. You're getting caught off guard with other stuff. And then he also mentions, he's like, you want to learn persistence? Go buy Elden Ring, So
I'm bettering myself for
You're
playing this
welcome.
game.
Now we're doing it for a reason.
always. I mean, even online, it shows all the benefits in it. Where does it say? It gives you stimulation, social connections, visual spatial skills, strategy and problem solving,
Yeah, I rolled.
planning, sequencing, and
I rolled
prioritizing. That's where and Rachel used to babysit, and she was like, the parents she used to babysit for would just be like, oh, just put on a movie, but they didn't allow video games, and she grew up with video games, so she couldn't understand. She was like, does she not get that video games teach you more because you're more engaged, and
Yeah.
it's like testing your mind
Mm-hmm.
than just
What?
nothing. Oh, and then the last thing he said, he was like, let me see your inventory. Let me see your itemization. The therapist. So you could see how you
yeah,
like
No, but I'm just trying to
see
figure
the
out
clutter, see the clutter versus just ways to see into someone's mind based on how they play a video game.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think it's true though. I mean,
It's so true, and it's just also just really interesting just to.
oh, dude, you should have seen Caleb's eyes. He got so happy when I told him that he could carry everything as long as he doesn't equip it.
That's the best. I just
Yeah.
collect things. I don't need them.
Uh-huh.
I don't need them.
Yeah, Caleb's like, you can do that. That's awesome. Because every time growing up, we'd play Skyrim and Caleb would come over, and every time I saw him playing, he'd be like just hobbling to some place.
And he refused to put things in chests. I don't know what it was.
yeah.
Either he lost it or he had it. That's it.
Yeah.
I do the same.
I don't get that.
Yeah. And then, so, Dalton, we gotta. Oh, are we not gonna? You're highlighting.
Either one. Yeah. I just wanted to get your take on, billionaire news because I saw it and I was like, what? Elon Musk has challenged three times Putin to one-on-one combat.
Like, are we talking like fencing?
No, like one-on-one combat. But like the winner gets Ukraine.
Nice. So Elon Musk can have Ukraine.
Like, can own it?
I think he's fighting on behalf of the rest of the world.
Oh.
So wait. So what's this one-on-one combat? Is it like fist fight?
Let me look it up. But like,
Because if it's like a science project, Putin's done.
I mean,
you know?
that seems like a video game kind of thing to
Yeah.
do, and I just don't understand what
Have
do you
you
think
seen
the
Putin
thought
work out?
process is. There?
I think that a lot of things are done, just for virality. Like I don't know, like there's no way you do this and you expect Putin to say yes,
Or even
acknowledge it.
abide by it.
Yeah, like what the hell? They took
He already
down.
lied to his troops, man.
Yeah,
What
that,
else
and
can he
then
do?
they took down all social media in Russia.
Mhm.
You can't go on Instagram; it's just black.
Is it really?
Yeah, it just goes black screen.
That's the worst. That would suck. I mean, who knows? Maybe that's gonna help them. Help them see the outside, see the world.
It just says one-on-one combat, and Putin can bring his bear.
Putin has a bear.
He's got a
Like
Of
bear.
course he
Bobo?
does, man. He's Russian.
Is Putin the Earth Kingdom king with the bear?
Could be.
I wonder how many parallels we can draw from Avatar and what's going on in the world.
Do you know after Fire Lord Ozai died, the Fire Nation and the Earth Nation 6 months later fought again
Why?
in a series of battles?
Is that like lore between Avatar and
Yeah.
Korra?
Yeah.
They get mad.
It's how, it was explaining how the Fire Nation and the four nations all became one together in that big city for Legend of Korra.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
What's
it's
it
like a
called?
lead up to it.
Cabbage something.
Cabbage
Cabbage
Man?
Corp? Cabbage
Cabbage Corp. Yeah, Cabbage Corp becomes huge and takes over everything. Have you seen Korra?
No.
Dude,
Oh, man.
you're missing out.
You're missing out.
Missing out. It's so good. I
Missing
love it.
out.
Wait, the guy who sells cabbage ends up creating a
map.
conglomerate.
Did you ever
Bro.
watch Avatar: Last Airbender?
Yeah, I know
Like,
him,
all of
but
it?
literally he always...
He's just mad about his cabbages.
He just gets
My
mad because everyone
cabbages.
keeps destroying his cabbages.
Yeah, no, he figures it out, man. He becomes quite the businessman.
Wow.
Good for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good for him.
Would
Yeah.
you say that Korra is better or worse than the Batman?
Worse.
It's worse than the Batman?
The movie?
Yeah.
Which Batman are we talking about?
The one you just saw.
I didn't see it.
They didn't see it.
I
They were all
told
sold
you.
out.
I told you
oh,
twice.
you did tell me. You did tell
They
me.
were all sold out, man.
Also, doubt he was just drinking with my dad.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
It was great,
Did you,
man.
did you at least do a Batman impersonation?
Well, I walked into the house and the first
born in the fire.
red by it. The first thing I did, I went did my laundry real quick, walked inside, and he already had 2 shots poured out.
My guy.
So, all right, so we had some shots, and then started drinking some Daltinis, the OGs know, and then went out, got tenderloin, which is good. It's a little, what is it?
Tenderloin
How do you
is
explain tenderloin,
it's a steak joint,
It's good shit, man.
and the average age of this place is 87.
60 to 80.
Nope, 87.
All right.
And we've been going there since we were little kids.
Yeah.
Food's great, service all right. Booths very uncomfortable, but you deal with it.
The steak's good.
Steak's so good. A little
Can't
specialty
go wrong
steak.
with it. Yeah, man. A little specialty steak. It was perfect for lunch, man.
Dalton used to like it because when we would go, he could order Shirley Temples.
And they gave me
They gave him a shit ton of cherries every time.
every time when I ordered it, as they were walking away, Dad said, "Oh, can you put extra cherries in those?" And I was like, God, "You know me so well."
Mm-hmm. And then Dalton would sit there and eat all the cherries, and he'd get a stomach ache. Like, my stomach hurts. And my mom would be like, "You ate all the cherries," and he's like, "They're good, Mom."
I get addicted to those things
all the time.
Yeah,
All the time.
but then the one gets in the bottom, and you're fucking fighting it out, and you can't get the damn cherry. That's the problem.
But you saw Batman, right?
I did see Batman.
Did you not like it?
Scale of 1 to 11.
What should we expect from our point of view? What's our scale going to be?
From your point of view?
Would you recommend that I go and sit for 3 hours and watch it? You know me well enough.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's a detective story.
Oh.
And there's riddles and a mystery you have to solve. I think that would keep you engaged the whole time.
Did you solve it before it was done?
No.
Oh.
Really?
No.
I'm not gonna figure it out then.
Well, you're the smart one.
Wait, so you're telling me if I go and I figure it out, I'm smarter than you?
You are.
Hell yeah. Okay, I'm gonna figure this out.
Is the camera going, David?
How'd you know?
I don't know. I felt something.
Nice. Been working on that energy. You know, it's probably he has this.
No, I set off an alarm on Monday. I drove up.
You set off an alarm?
Yeah. Oh no, last Monday. Sorry, not today. And I drove to go unlock a building, and as I drove up and got out of my car, the minute I stepped out, the alarm started going off, and this has never happened since I've worked there. I don't know what the fuck happened. I ran over there, unlocked the door, and turned off the alarm before the cops started coming, and it was okay. But
How do you know that you set it off?
well, I had that's one of my buildings, so I had to make sure that there's nobody in there, and there could be kids. So I checked the whole building. All the doors were locked shut. Nothing was open. Nothing was moved. And I know how the building normally looks, so I didn't see anything that would trigger it.
Sounds like someone was trying to say, "What's up?"
I'm surprised you would go to your energy before going to ghosts.
Yeah, I would definitely do me first because I know there's definitely something in the elementary building, but that shit creeps me out every time.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it stares out the window. I was like, when I drive off, I could see its head.
Hi, Dalton.
But it doesn't bother me when I'm in there.
That's good.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother you when you're in there. It's just
I just
when
can
you're
see it.
outside.
Yeah, every once in a while.
Says what's up.
Yeah, send deuces, It's having a good time. Yeah, so that's been weird.
So, David, Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, please.
Were you gonna do the same
No,
thing?
I want you to, yes, probably.
This one?
Yes, absolutely.
So, David, what if I told you?
I just want to know why you think we're going to talk, why we should talk about this.
David, what if I told you that if you ever died, don't worry. I can give you something that'll make you the swine you've always been. I'll give you a pig's heart.
Fuck, dude. He got you good. You
Yeah.
know? How do you feel right now? Torn down,
little
depressed,
bit.
sad, angry? Yeah.
I'm kind
I
of
know
just
you
like
do.
a little surprised. I'm like, wow, you knew the word swine.
That's why we do dictionary with Dave. Come on, David.
We practice this every week.
You want to fill me in on this first pig heart transplant
Yeah,
completed?
I thought I had put the link in there. They did let me find a proper way to do this.
They
Let
did
me
the
cut around this. Oh, well,
Keep this all in.
He died.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
Oh, fuck.
Literally the 9th. So that's how long this has been in here. And
So
it
the
was
heart
an
just gave
experiment.
out?
So I think so.
Did they? Yeah, I was going to ask if they said why.
It was an experiment. Like I said, I mean, it was the first one to ever happen, so obviously it was an experiment. But yeah, they wanted to see if they could use. He was ineligible for a human heart transplant. That's why they didn't use someone else's heart, and he was on life support. So they were like, "This is
The last chance.
maybe the only option if you want to try it. There's no guarantee that it'll work." And so they took a pig's heart, because I think is the closest in size to a human, and then they edited the genes, modifying some and then adding human genes to it, basically to get the body to accept it and not reject it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guessing it probably just didn't last long enough
take,
before they started rejecting it.
Oh,
But it did work
for a few days.
Yeah, the last time that they tried putting an animal heart into someone was in an infant who had a baboon's heart.
Oh, wow.
Did that one take?
That one lived 21 days.
Okay.
Yeah,
And this one
guy
was
lived 2 months,
2 months. All right.
so about 60 days.
That's wild.
That sucks for the family.
Oh, yeah.
Could you imagine? Like, you have to, like, somehow come to terms with the fact that your kid's not going to make it. And then there's this, like, glimmer of hope, and it works out for 21 days, and then just doesn't work. That sucks.
But I
Yeah.
think you go in with
Knowing the risk.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure they warn you plenty.
It says they use pig skin grafts all the time, and they use pig heart valves as like pieces, but never the full thing.
Interesting.
So I wonder if that means that, like, once they figure out how to do this for, the long term, I wonder if there's going to be, like, a hierarchy of animal hearts that you can afford. You know what I mean? Like how do I put this? Like,
You're doing a good job.
like, I don't know. The rich and wealthy will be able to afford a unicorn's heart, right? We're gonna like put that on the one end of the spectrum. But then, like, the lower end of the poverty scale, they can only afford a pig's heart. Like what other animals are in there?
I mean, I think the ultimate goal is to get stem cells to just basically recreate your
Repair
own
your
heart.
heart,
Yeah.
It's crazy to me though that like you can modify like the sentence you were like they just modified the genes so the body could take. If
That shit's weird.
If that doesn't tell you that this is just a giant game, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A giant game of Sims.
A giant game of Sims.
You're just hacking essentially.
Like
It's hacking at the genes and changing it.
yeah,
up.
whoever's playing us just decided, these two guys need a podcast, so we're gonna make them do it every day,
Every
other week,
every other week.
every other week.
Well, once a week, and then other episode has a mini episode.
I mean, but that's been around for a while. I mean, like that's the whole issue of designer babies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you could pick your baby,
Would you?
I would still leave some up to chance. I don't know where you guys at. I would take out all the options. I would filter out all the, it's gonna sound as bad as it is, but like all the diseases that the baby could be born with.
I don't know. I
wouldn't.
I don't think I would.
No.
I don't think I would.
Why?
Maybe there's just some things that are more beautiful natural.
I just think very bad things happen when you try to play God.
Uh-huh.
Like I don't think that ever ends well.
Yeah.
Look at Jurassic
I want
Park.
to respect that. What's that?
Look at Jurassic Park.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Case in point, what if they start to use dinosaur hearts as transplants? Then we become Jurassic Park.
What if I become a T-Rex?
You'd never be the T-Rex.
What do you think it would be?
Stegosaurus.
Stegosaurus? Fuck you. I wouldn't be a Stegosaurus.
Stegosaurus.
You'd be like a...
I'd be a Stegosaurus too. No, I'd probably just be a turtle. It wouldn't be nothing cool.
Nah, you'd be like a creepy ass, like old sea turtle.
You think so?
Yeah.
Be wise though.
Yeah.
What kind of dinosaur would David be?
Dinosaur. I mean, David would be...
Oh no!
David would be a Stegosaurus.
What's the dinosaur in Land Before Time? The main guy.
Brontosaurus?
Yeah, that would.
Yeah, you'd be a
Brontosaurus.
Brontosaurus.
I
Yeah.
don't have a thick neck. Long neck.
Not
Thick
there,
neck.
David. Not
No,
there.
it's because you don't want to do this when you work out.
No.
Oh man.
Actually, how's your neck feeling?
It feels great.
Feel better?
Yeah. I'm still thinking just like on all the ethical conundrums that come with like designer babies and stuff.
There's a lot.
Because then you get children that could grow up and be like, why didn't you let me be natural? And then you could have children that grow up and be like, you could have fixed this. Why didn't you?
Yep.
And these are all just the children asking.
Yeah. That's rough. Like as a parent, like you have to sit with that, And there are people who, just double down. Like, I'm gonna let nature do its thing, and you got to be okay with that and the consequences that come with that later. For better or worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
But on a lighter note, like that guy was like 57. He wasn't that old. Because I was thinking one of the first things I thought about was like,
How
what if
is this
this
a lighter note?
What if
He
this
died.
kid? What if this kid was like what if it was like a kid that was like in third grade and it like went perfectly fine and he just like had to live the rest of his life with this pig heart now, and like he's going into like third, fourth grade, and then someone finds out that he's got a pig heart inside of him.
And they're like, hey, piggy, piggy. Hey, piggy, piggy.
Oink oink.
Oink,
That's the best
oink.
that a fourth grader could come up with.
That's if I was in fourth grade, that's what I would say.
Dude, me and Dalton and Monique were talking about this earlier, like about like getting bullied in like elementary school or like middle school. Kids are fucking brutal, dude.
Yeah.
They're mean.
Yeah.
Kids are fucking mean.
They say they pick what's true.
Yeah, and like you just all right, you just gotta deal with it.
Is it worse? Is it better or worse that there's no like poetry to the insult? It's just cold hard facts.
I think it's better.
It's not facts, David.
Like it'll be like third,
It's not
fourth.
facts.
I think it's better because it's just like it's just a one and done. You just get smacked across the face with it, and it stings really bad, and you gotta live with it. As opposed to like somebody says something to you, and you're like, oh, thank you, right? And you walk away because they put it in a way where you think it's a compliment. Then you're sitting there, and like 6 years later, you're in the shower, and then you think about it, and then you understand it, and you're like, fucking bitch, like what the hell? But then you can't confront them about it because it's been 6 years and now you're living in your own condo with
Fuck
your
that.
girlfriend and your brother and like you're taking a shower. Like You know? What the fuck?
You know what? Can I be honest?
Shoot me straight, man.
Can I be honest with you?
What's up?
There was a time in second grade I got bullied pretty hard by 2 people.
Is it Matt?
Yeah, Matt, Mark.
No, not me.
No,
2 of his best friend and
one of my best friends. Yeah, and
he's now the godfather of his friend's child.
Yeah.
This is before they made up.
Oh, I turned it down on accident. Sorry. And they would bully me every day in the playground, right? Every day. And then one day they like started kicking me and punching me. I didn't know what to do. I was just super frustrated. And then I met this kid named Bradley. And Bradley was like a little like punk kid, just angry and just like will fight anything. And I became best friends with Bradley. And they didn't fuck with me again because I was hanging out with Bradley. And so that's when I started hanging out with like all like the mean kids, because I was like, I know I'm not going to get fucked with if I'm with them. So 3rd grade, 4th grade, and 5th grade, I mainly hung out with them. Well, 3rd grade and 4th grade. 5th grade's different. But 3rd grade, for like those few years, I mainly just hung out with that group and never got bullied again because of it. Except when I got into high school, but that's different, you know?
Nice.
I don't understand how you guys were getting in fights at such a young age.
You disagree.
Why does that immediately go to a fight?
It's a lot easier.
I think because a lot of times people fight, like, you lack at least at that point in your life, like, you lack the communication skills to express how you actually feel.
Yeah.
Right. And then, you see the older kids do it. So you just assume, oh, if you're mad at somebody, this is what happens,
Punch
and like for me, like, I got bullied, and like, it was just something of the point where it's like, I would just get so mad that I would be like, I would rather get beat up than live in fear. I would rather just get my ass kicked than be nervous.
Yeah, beat the shit out of me so I know that you're right.
So at least it's done. Like, it can't get worse after that,
What if you lose and then they continue to keep saying stuff about you?
Because you just need to hit them once. Like, it was always one of those things where it's like, if you stood up to somebody, 9 times out of 10, they'd be like, oh, you can't fuck with them. And then they leave you alone. I have experience where I'd get my ass kicked. 2 days later, they'd be running their mouth again. I'd be like, are we doing this again? Like, and then it happens again. But like, after a while, it just kind of gets to a point where it's like, you're either tired of being disciplined by the school, or it's like, you just understand that, like, this is just not somebody you can do that with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What hurt more, when you'd get insulted or made fun of by your bullies or your friends?
Your friends.
Your friends.
Yeah. Because you don't really care what bullies think. They're just assholes. Right? But then, like, if it's your friend, like, this is supposed to be your friend. Like,
they're supposed to support you in that.
And it's always a little more pointed because they know more about you. So it's always like a little deeper. You're like, what the fuck? Like, you're not supposed to talk say that about me. And then like you say something back because you know them well too. Then it ends up in this giant I
had a problem a lot where I was like, I make friends and they would be like assholes to me.
You were the butt of the
I was always the butt of the joke or something, and I couldn't understand why. Like, I didn't know. I thought it was always me. Like, it's just me. Like, I'm like, maybe I just give off this vibe that like I'm okay to fuck with or something. Like, I don't know what it is. So I never figured it out in high school, and then I realized I was like, it's just other people that are just having a hard time with life, or they see something in you that they want, but they don't know how to achieve that. So they take things out on you because they have a personal aggression.
Either that, or they see something that you do that reminds them of something they have in themselves, and they don't like it. So it kind of causes them to react a certain way,
Yep. Little triggers.
Yeah.
But, that's how you learn.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Part of life.
There was this TikTok that we ended up sending to each other that I wanted you guys to respond to. Let me see if we can just listen to it.
I just watched a video, and the songwriting was so good, it devastated me. It made me want to quit trying. They're just more talented than you, so what? There's always someone who's better than you. I know, but it's like in my best moments, when I'm in the thick of writing something and it's all coming together, in those moments, I feel like a genius, or at least, among the best. And then I'll see something that crushes the illusion. So if you can't see yourself as one of the best, it's not worthwhile doing. I guess part of what keeps me going is the belief that I'm good at it, even if it's a delusion. Otherwise, I don't feel like writing. Sounds to me like you want to be seen as great by others, that you're not content just being good. That's not a bad thing. You just got to give your ego a rest.
It's long
My
as
ego
shit.
is the driving force behind anything I create. My biggest fear is confusing greatness with mediocrity. Maybe you're already doing that. Maybe. I guess you're just trapped between moments of feeling great and moments of feeling worthless. Which moment are we in now? I just watched a video.
Were you listening to any of that?
There's a lot of words, man. Fucking say it.
They were.
I'm fucking confused. I don't know what the fuck he was talking about half the time.
I think that's. It reminds me of this saying that I was it Ruben told me. Someone told me it. It's like it goes something like, you may not be able to be everything you want to be, but you can be everything that you are. And I think that's kind of what that message is saying, right? Like we talked about it, last week with Shane. Like comparison is the thief of joy, right? And I think in the context of the video, they're talking about writing music, and when you're writing it, you feel so good, but then you hold it up to these standards and of these other artists, and all of a sudden you feel shitty. And mediocrity is terrifying. Like I think about it every day. Like it's scary. Like I don't want to be mediocre. I want to be everything but that. But the problem is that when you're scared of mediocrity, you become mediocre because you begin to walk as if your feet are in quicksand. It's hard to move, and you end up struggling to quickly get yourself out and try and find a way out, when in reality you just have to relax and you'll get out. And I think that a lot of times we compare ourselves, and especially now when we're comparing ourselves to a portrayal of somebody's life that isn't necessarily realistic. I don't want to call it fake, because like they are there taking those pictures and doing those things, but there's no time perception, right? Somebody posts a picture of, their trip that they took 3 years ago in the summer, but like when you see it, you just assume that they're there right then and now, right? And you're like, well, you're at your cubicle or you're at your job or whatever. But when you're creating art or you're doing something that you love, I think when you start to love the process, the fear of mediocrity kind of goes away, because you start to love the journey in and of itself, And so I actually, I listened to a podcast. It's called The Secrets of My Success. It's a motivational speaker. His name's E.T., the hip hop preacher. Badass dude.
Cool. I like that name.
Super cool dude. But so they were talking about it, and this is super fascinating to me. So they talk about basically doing what you can with where you're at, right? And understanding that like we're doing things now to build a future, but we may have all the raw materials that we need right now, but we just haven't built the house yet. And the way that they talk about this is they bring up the story of the 3 little pigs, right? And they have the first pig builds his house with, what was it, sticks? Hay. So, and then the last pig builds his house with stone or bricks or whatever, right? And the way the story is laid out, I always assume that the houses were built at the same time, right? But let's assume that that wasn't the case, and it might not be. Actually, I haven't heard the story in a long time, but he's like, I wonder if there was a point where the pig that had all the bricks before it was actually built was looking at the pig that had the house of hay and was like, man, that guy's got it figured out. Like, look, this is all that I have. I just got some bricks. I just got I have land. He's like, I don't have anything, but they have it all, because look they've got that house. But then they go throughout the process and they start to build this house, and sure enough, he ends up with this house of brick, but it's not the house of hay that he had originally seen and idolized, right? But then life happens and wind comes, or the big bad wolf comes, or whatever it is, and they blow the house down. But then they come over to the house that was made from the raw materials that this pig just had to use, and it becomes this strong foundation. Why? Because he finally stopped looking at the pig that had the house of hay and just used what he had with where he was at. And I think if we all were to do more of that, the masterpieces that we can create in and of itself wouldn't even be mediocre. I think it would be something that maybe not everybody would understand, but I think that there's a select amount of people that would be able to see the beauty that comes from that thing. Because mediocrity, like, we put it on this scale that it's like it's a blanket, right? Mediocrity is this level, but like what may seem mediocre to somebody probably fought all their life to get to. And if you talk to them about it, they're incredibly proud of it. And it's not mediocre at all, because you don't know what the fuck it took for them to get to where they're at. So it's kind of like interesting to me to hear it put like that, you know? But I think the self-delusion that comes from when we see people that are like, yeah, like I have it all, or they, you know, it makes people that are still in the process of building and finding themselves along that journey, it makes it a little difficult for them, because it's like, you know, you just have your raw materials and you're just not at that time, in that phase of your journey yet.
Blew me away, Matt Drum.
Feel me?
That was awesome. That was really cool.
I mean, that's kind of rambling and like just thinking out loud, but like that's kind of what I think.
No, that was
more intriguing than the video, to be honest to me. I'm sorry that I lost it after like the first like 10 seconds.
I think you just need to watch it.
I think you got fixated on the music.
Yeah,
and you
possibly.
stopped listening to the words that were being said.
Possibly.
My only question about that is it kind of sticks you then in a sense of fortune for the pig that had the bricks, because yeah, he was able to make something with what he had and it worked out, but then it makes it seem like, you know, the pig with the hay, he also was just working with what he had, and he did the same amount of work and it didn't work out because his raw materials weren't strong enough.
The way that they were putting this in the podcast itself was less about, it was more about watering your own grass in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But also too, like the hay, the way that they were talking about the house that was built with hay was that it was done quickly.
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to get rich quick.
Okay.
As opposed to laying down the layers of the brick is going to take much, much longer. But they want
harder.
something now. So the hay's going to be the quickest way to put it up.
He's got the bricks, but he's like, I should just go find
for the hay
hay
because it'll be done soon.
Because it'll be, yeah.
Yeah.
So the video is talking a lot about how when you're writing, when you're in the midst of it, you feel like it's going to be amazing. And the second you stop and look at other things, you feel like it's worthless. And there's really never that middle ground. It's usually one or the other.
Yeah, it's extreme.
And it's that sense of like looking at yourself and you're like, it's always about the feeling of the product rather than the actual state of it. And so, you know, how do you feel about that kind of obstacle and conflict that goes through your mind?
Oh, I love that. I think for a lot of us, we always compare and contrast everything, including with like social issues, you know? And I think Matthew hit it best with social media. It's like that fucked me up for a long time too. I thought I was always behind. I always felt behind. I kind of got to a point where I just stopped giving a fuck and was like, that's not me. I can't control it. And then I kind of lost a lot of those little issues that would bother me sometimes. But I think we all still have it, you know? Yeah. But it's how you live with it, I think, is what makes it different. So I think Matthew said it best.
So I was thinking, specifically watching that, I was reminded of you doing art. And there was a big time in your life you wanted to be a concept artist. You wanted to do all this stuff. And you took your classes and things. But, you know, you're especially taking classes for art. You're literally surrounded by other people's artwork. Yeah. And so, you know, did you suffer from that kind of self-delusion, I guess, or that fear of mediocrity when you know what you're capable of and you know what you're producing versus the teacher who's got this crazy portfolio and these other artists who maybe, you know, started when they were 6 and so they're at a different level than you are.
Farther advanced. I remember the first day of class for art school. I was so nervous. I almost shit my pants and ended up shitting at a Target next to it, which is actually this one. It was it was funny. I was so nervous, and I was the last person in the class to draw something on the board because they would call everyone up to introduce themselves, and then they would give them an animal to draw. And they gave me a donkey.
I remember this.
And I got up, And I was like, hi, my name's Dalton Drum. I work at a school, but, I would really love to pursue concept art at some point in time. And they're like, oh, nice. Awesome. And I was like, yeah. So they're like, draw a donkey. So I walk over there and I'm like, the fuck do donkeys even look like? I don't know. I never thought about, like, I've spent all my time drawing monsters and, like little like scenery stuff. I never really spent the time to actually draw like an actual animal. So it was literally a stick and circles, and it was so bad. It was so bad. And I remember looking at it and looking at the rest of the board, and everyone has these amazing drawings, and mine was in the fucking middle. They had saved the middle for me, and I was like, that was the day where I realized, I was like, holy fuck, I don't think I can do this. And then it fucked me up for like that whole semester, because the rest of the time I was just like, this isn't possible. Like, I can't do this. I was so negative because I was always comparing off of that one thing. I was like, I couldn't get it. There was a day where things started to finally click, and I started really realizing that I had something, and I understood more like dynamic drawing, and was like getting into it, and I loved it. But I think there was also a point where my intention to become a concept artist was blocking a lot of things for me, and I was cutting off a lot of things, and I was pursuing it for not the reasons of myself, but for the reasons of somebody else. And I wanted to show them I could be successful and I could be everything that they wanted me to be while doing something that I loved.
Okay.
So once that was off the table, whenever I would try to draw after that time, I would just be reminded of like the bullshit I put myself through just to fucking get there, and be like quit for the wrong reasons. And it was more of a, like, it kind of became like more of a trauma to me, because I couldn't figure out how to draw again for a really long time. Yeah. It was just always connected to that person. Yeah. So I haven't drawn since then, and I've been thinking about drawing recently, actually, just getting back into it. But it was such an emotional portion of my life that I put into my art, and that I put into how I was feeling, and I really portrayed it in what I wanted to draw. And I realized that it was almost hard for me and painful to draw again because of those things. So, you live and you learn, but that's probably the biggest example I have for comparing. Yeah. It just fucked me up, dude.
So did you always want to keep your art just a hobby? Did you want to make it a career?
I think that's when I realized I wanted it mainly for me. Okay. Yeah. And it's not that I don't want to like do something with it, like we still have our ideas on working on stuff, and I would love to make that like a goal of mine for my life, is to make something of mine. I've always wanted to do that. And I know we have we can definitely do it together. I think we've always been planning it. So there's still things I want to do, but maybe it doesn't have to happen right now, and that's okay, but it will eventually.
And I don't know if I like self-delusion of greatness, where it's like, if you're doing the best that you can in that moment for that ability, like that is your greatest thing that you can do. On the grand scheme of things, when you start to compare it, it might not be, but like self-delusion of greatness, like it just kind of, I don't know.
It might be, and that's the title of the video, but it might be, yeah, and that's where I think the self-delusion is actually applying itself to the mediocrity, because you feel like you're doing great work, and you could be, but the fact that then you go and compare it and you convince yourself that it's just mediocre or it's not good enough is the self-delusion half of it. Yeah. Rather than deluding yourself into thinking you're producing something good. Yeah. I think it's actually the opposite way. But yeah, that is kind of insulting to have a video that's like, oh, you think you're doing good? No, you're not.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think perspective is everything, that Ruben, he has a parable. I know it's not his, but I don't know where he got it from, but I'm gonna steal it. And it's about perspective. And he brought it up today on the sales call, and he tells me it all the time, because I'm somebody that like I need people to pull my head up from under the sand, because like in my day-to-day work, like it's day in, day out tasks, and sometimes I need people to help. Like, hey, you want to be here, but take a second and look how far you've come. And remember why you're doing all of this, right? So the parable goes like this. There's a lady, someone walking down the street, and there's 3 people. They're all laying bricks, and they're building something, right? And so this person goes up to the first
Were they
brick.
pigs?
No pigs this time. They go up to the first bricklayer and then go, "Hey, what are you doing?" And the guy looks at him. He's like, "I'm laying bricks." Like, what the hell does it look like I'm doing? And he says, "All right, for sure." He takes a couple steps, goes to the second bricklayer. He goes, "Hey, man, what are you up to?" Or like, what are you doing? And he goes, "Oh, I'm building a church." And he's like, "Oh, nice, man." He goes, "Yeah, that's pretty cool, huh?" "Yeah." So he continues working, and he walks over to the third guy, and he goes, "Hey, like, what are you up to? Like, what are you doing?" And he goes, "I'm building the house of God." Right? 3 people, all doing the same job. All 3 had different entitlement to what they were doing, but it's the perspective of everything that I think changed the tone and the way that they went about it, right? So I think if you have somebody that's creating art because they're trying to appease another party or they're trying to make money for these certain things, if that is your goal, your perspective is shifted, right? It becomes, oh, I'm doing it for this, right? As opposed to when it's like, well, why are you doing this? You know, and it's like, you know, I'm building the house of God. Like I want to make this art book. Yeah. And this art book is going to be able to help kids understand how to use colors to communicate their feelings. And each character is going to have these different, like it becomes so much more. But at the same time, when it, like, if you're looking at like that, like that's your greatest work. But a lot of times we're like, well, I'm trying to draw this fucking pig to tell these kids what anger is. You know what I mean? That in and of itself doesn't sound too appealing, right?
Yeah.
And especially if like you're working on one thing that takes you forever to get done. Think about bricklaying. It's right? Like it's the same act over and over, and it's repetitive, right? Drawing the same, working on the same piece of art day in and day out, trying to get the lines right, trying to get the shading right, trying to get the proper like angles of light that are coming in, right? Like that shit's exhausting. Like you're so zoomed in on the pixels of something that like you get caught up in it, right? But sometimes you got to zoom out and be like, this is actually what I'm doing. And that might be your greatest work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's special. And I think that that's something that like I struggle with all the fucking time. But I think too, like I think perspective is everything, you know, for better or worse, right? Like there's people that see the bigger picture and they freak the fuck out, you know, but I'm not one of those people. And I think it'd benefit a lot of people to like check their perspective on things.
Woo.
Yeah. That's interesting to me to think that some people need to see that bigger picture to get motivation, and then other people get overwhelmed by the bigger picture and need that micro, you know, there's some people that get frustrated on the pig and it's like, well, I'm making a children's book to do this and this and this. And there's some people that are like, I'm making a children's book, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, hey, you're making a pig. You're drawing a pig right now.
Yeah.
It's literally just 2 different sides, but they can both.
And if you're ever like a leader of a team of any kind, you need to understand what motivates people, right? Like Ruben knows me really well. I need to see the bigger picture. I need to like kind of at least visualize it, because I know if I can visualize it, I can make it happen. He gets that. He makes sure that he helps me see the bigger picture most of the time. But I also understand it's going to be the day-to-day, take each and every single step to get there, right? And there's other people that can't do that. And it just kind of like depends on the person. And, you know, hopefully if you guys are in a leadership position, like take some time to sit and understand your staff or understand the people that work with you and what does motivate them. You can see when somebody lights up, you know, I know, you know, and cater to that. Help them see what they need to see in order to move forward. Just not even for the job, if you want to put it in that sense, right? That's just, I'm comfortable talking about that. That's what most of my life revolves around. But like, if you can put it in perspective for them in a way that they can see it best, everybody wins, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Dalton, what are you squaring up with?
Bro. Wait, let me see if it's still there. Oh.
Your tattoo? It's still there.
No, I'm not squaring up my tattoo. But I forgot. It was gonna be good too. I thought it had something to do with my hands. No, I don't know what it is.
Didn't you have a cut or something on one of your palms?
No. I remember. I think I told you what it was. I told you what it was, and I can't remember what it was. Go ahead, Matt. What are you squaring up with?
I'm squaring up with Dalton's fingers. So, and I'm also squaring up with Ernesto. So, ever since Dalton has this job that he has, his fingers have become little knives. It's very similar to Ernesto's, and I think it's like some weird ritual that they give you when you sign up for this job. Dalton decided to try to manhandle me the other day, and guys, it fucking worked. I did not put up much of a fight. It is what it is. I'm here to. I've never lied to you. I'm not going to start now. I got pushed against the wall. I had fucking talons digging into my ribs, and it was painful. It was painful. I tried everything I could to get out. I tell you, my older brother ego got shattered that day. It fucking did. 12-year-old Matt, I am sorry. We failed.
No, I think work just requires a lot of like.
Do they make you sharpen it?
No, you learn how to avoid and how to use somebody else's body against them. So
By sharpening your nails.
no, he's not talking about my nails being sharp, David.
It's just fucking sharp
Just my
fingers.
fingers just get there. Like they just hold.
You
they don't
know
let
how
go.
to like pressure point.
Yeah.
He's a bruja.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like the nails were
No,
sharpened,
yeah, not
like
the-
in polo.
Yeah, no, like I'm
no,
not like
no.
I'm not like hurting. Matthew's making it seem like I'm hurting the kids. In no way am I hurting the
No,
kids.
Dalton's not hurting the children. He's just hurting me.
No.
But I was just
yeah.
I was
He's
able
hurting me.
to to express it more with Matthew and actually dig in
I
there.
don't know what to do, man. I tried to kick him in the nuts at one point.
I got Matthew to choke himself with his
Out of
elbow.
pure desperation, man. I've never been manhandled like that.
Yeah, you learn a thing too when kids try to fight you every day.
Do you remember your square
I
up?
have no idea what.
What
it
are you
is.
squaring
Keep
up with
going.
this week, Cheese?
I'm squaring up with the housing market.
Nice.
I would appreciate a crash anytime soon. It's so expensive for anything and everything, and it's kind of ridiculous, and I hate all of it, and I don't want to even think about it anymore.
All right.
So don't
right.
try and get an apartment, anytime soon.
Well, thanks, David. Real inspirational talks over here after talking about mediocrity and all that whatever greatness.
Perspective. At least you're able to look.
Exactly, and that's where I was like, I think at this point I'm just like, let's wait for something to show up at our front door.
Yeah.
Rather than
It's still frustrating.
exactly.
Oh, it's so frustrating.
Rather than trying to look for something now.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Matt,
that sucks, dude.
What was your woe, dude?
My woe, dude. My woe, dude, was the whole pig hay story. 3 little pigs. There's fucking when.
Hearing it?
Yeah, when they put it in perspective, I was like, when they started talking about, it, I'm like, I never thought about that. I was like, holy shit. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going on, but that's my woe dude of the week. Dalt, what's your woe dude?
I got to drive one of my kids home last Friday, and I did again today. And he's never heard of Nirvana or Led Zeppelin or Ozzy or Metallica or like any bands that like me, Matthew, grew up a lot listening to for most of our life. And so he's been having to go through this adventure where I make him listen to the best songs that were ever made in the world of rock. And I make him listen to everything. And he can't get out of it. I mean, he enjoys it. He's a good sport about it. But I always I tell him like history about the song, how it was made, and like what artists like are best in it. And it's a good time. So I enjoy showing him that. And he seemed to have fun about it. He brought it up the next day to one of his
Right.
staff. So
That's cool.
You're getting to share the next generation.
it was just crazy to me. Like, how do you not know who Led Zeppelin is?
These
That's-
youngins don't know anything
That's
nowadays.
a
like
lot of
Def
people
Leppard?
now.
Like, what the fuck? Like, how do you not know what Def Leppard is?
No, you're the youngest one here, but sometimes I think you're the oldest.
I'm sorry. It just boggles my mind.
So yeah, I mean, we still grew up with VHSs and cassette tapes.
Yeah,
and
we did.
floppy disks.
I miss VHS tapes, man. That was an
Floppy disk.
experience. And the smell. Remember the smell of VHS tape?
Mm-hmm.
Where were you getting your VHS tapes?
No,
You
like
never-
the plastic, like you
never
open it.
smelt your VHS tapes when you
I
open
remember
up
the crink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that, not the plastic so much.
Well, what's your woe, dude, David?
My woe, dude, is again not as happy. There was a plane from China.
Jesus Christ.
There was a plane from China that just nosedived. Yeah,
Oh, shit.
Whoa.
it was like just flying at 30,000 feet, and then they found a video. It just completely 30-second drop straight down. It was a Boeing, so another L for Boeing.
Nice.
And I was just like, Jesus Christ!
I wonder why that
Did,
happened.
did it crash? Did they save it?
No, it crashed.
Nice.
No, like they was flames and up, and
Everyone-
like 600 people had to go and respond to it.
Shh.
But yeah, the only reason they knew something went wrong is because like they just stopped responding.
Damn.
That's
yeah.
so weird. That's
That was
crazy.
Mhm.
That's
Oh my
terrible.
gosh. I'm so sorry for all those people.
Dalt, what got you stuck this week?
I guess it's my next piece. of work.
This is
You
what
get it tomorrow, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, they haven't seen this one yet,
Yeah, they have.
have they?
Yeah.
I thought it was this one they saw.
Had they not?
No.
Oh shoot, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Well,
Was
here's the
when my
thing.
show was still going.
Dalton's gonna have 3 tattoos within what, a month and a half?
Yeah. I'm getting this piece. I should be getting my back of my forearm done. You know what? I'll be honest. I know the triceps gonna hurt like a bitch, so I'm avoiding that motherfucker for as long as I can. So I'm gonna get this piece done, and then maybe something the week after for spring break, just because I'm off. I can get during the day and stuff.
Nice.
So we'll see. But I'm excited. I'm excited for just getting tattoos and being able to like go on a vacation and just relax for a week, because I'm pretty burnt out of work right now. I need a good break just from everything. So I'm pretty pumped for that too, just to kind of get my meditation game back up. And I've been doing it maybe every other day, not every day as consistent as I'd like.
Nice.
Just because I wake up so fucking tired. Sometimes I'm just fucking tired, man.
Yeah.
It's been a fucking go. So What about you, David? What got you stoked this week?
Oh, I started a new book called Be Water, My Friend.
Do you like it? Do you not
It's
like it? Doesn't
by
matter.
Bruce
You're going
Lee?
to finish
by
it.
the daughter of Bruce Lee, Shannon Lee.
Oh.
And it's just a book on her father's philosophies.
Bro,
Like,
cool.
And have you read Bruce Lee's philosophies?
the,
There's a book called
what?
Bruce Lee's Philosophies.
not that one.
It's so good.
No, but I'm loving this one already.
Bro,
this one already
so
seems
excited
like
for you.
another book to have in my stack with like
Yeah.
Ego is the Enemy, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
I got you.
The Obstacles Away. So no, I'm already loving it. And then
It's so good.
and then I got another book also from the library that's an oral history of 80s rock and roll.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
So it's all interviews with all the bands.
That's cool.
It's I'll send you a picture of the cover. But
Hey,
it's
my
great.
dad watched that movie you recommended about the kid who like wants to be in a band. Or
Sing Street?
Yeah, he watched it. He said it was really, really good.
Yeah.
I think he said my dad said he was pretty emotional when he was watching it.
I
Yeah?
could get
Makes
that.
sense? Yeah.
That makes
Okay.
sense. Yeah.
I think it was either that or something
I
else.
want to watch that. We got to watch that.
I'm down.
We can watch it next week with the other movie that you're supposed to watch with Caleb's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Special guest.
Yeah, wait, you guys gotta act like we gotta really twist his arm to get on here.
Okay.
We're gonna
David,
work
just
so
said
hard.
David, cut that out real quick.
Okay.
Bleep it out.
We have a special guest. Wait, ask me what I'm stoked for.
Yeah, Matt, what are you stoked for?
is-
I'm used to going last.
Yeah, oh sorry. Dude, I have so much to be stoked for. We got a new vacuum. Fucking love this thing.
He's brought
Right.
this up to everybody I've ever met in my
Vacuum.
life.
Bro,
Not the only new thing.
no, I got a bookcase where my books are out. And you know, if you know me, I love my books and I love to have them out. They've been stuck in my closet for the last 5 months. Very happy to have them out. And then yesterday, we got to golf. Me and David got to go out with his cousins, my close friends, John and Daniel. Got to go out with my cousin Dylan, close family friend for both of us of Eric. And we got to have a good round of golf. And it was a lot of fun. And then after that, me and Monique, we went out with her godbrother and one of their long friends, like close family friends. And we bar hopped on a Sunday and we had a lot of fun. We wanted to sing karaoke. So we ended up at a dive bar with 8 people in it. No karaoke machine, but we sang really loud and we played pool. It's always fun when you get to see your significant other enjoy their family.
Yeah.
Like in the purest way of like they used to when they were kids. You know what I mean? Like there's just like a deep love there. You know what I mean? So it was cool to watch like her and Sterling like sing and dance together and stuff. Like I don't know. Just for me, I was able to just kind of like sit back and watch.
I think you can relate to it. Like you
Absolutely.
know how much that means.
Oh, absolutely. You know, but it's able to see Monique experience that was super, super fun yesterday. And I love Sterling and I love Josh. So it was a good Sunday.
Sounds
I'm
like
running
it.
on an hour of sleep, so I paid for it, but it was definitely worth it.
I too am tired. I'll be honest.
Yeah. All right, if you made it this far into the podcast, thank you so much for your time. We really do appreciate your ear. And if you're here on YouTube, welcome. Nice to see you. Go ahead and leave us a click the subscribe button down below and click the bell notification icon. I haven't done this in a while. And that way you know whenever we upload our videos. And until next week, everybody stay safe, stay healthy. Until healthy. Until
Stay
then,
healthy.
Stay healthy. Until then, I'm Drum.
And I'm
We'll
Drummer.
see you guys then. Bye.
Bye.